So this is where I do all of my paperwork. These are cuts of gel, which are plastic films you put over light to change the color. Cool. So I have a little demo light. This is a real stage light, but I use it for determining gel colors for a show because it's easier to use a light you have close by than to put it up on an actual stage light. But you can see how gel works. And you can pick your colors and your patterns.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, and there's lots of different colors. Got lots of stuff. These are gobo holders. They hold metal patterns that you slide inside of the light so they can project those patterns. There's this cool picture, really old picture of what the tech table used to look like when they had a bunch of analog equipment.
Oh my goodness.
And then over here I keep my equipment, so this is my light board and the cases for my lights. And then a bunch of extra wire and some lamps and my tools.
Yeah, shop.
Yeah. Some parts. Got a bunch of LED string lights in those boxes. This is the power distribution for the entire front of the building. So this does everything. This does the stairs, the upper aisle, the ticket booth, the marquee bulbs outside, the poster cases, the vestibules, the diamonds, which are the little lights on the ceiling when you walk in, the foyer, and then the neon sign.
Cool.
And then this is the air conditioning for the whole building.
Oh my
in
gosh.
my light shop. This is my gel cutting table, so when I get full sheets of gel, I can cut them down to size so they fit in front of those lights. So this is a good example. These are 6.5 cuts. I have them organized by number. So every gel has a number. This is R60, and this is cut down into a size that goes into a metal frame and then slides right in front of the light, like this.
Cool.
So, and then in between shows, you just go up to the light, pull out your old gel, and put in whatever gel you need to replace it with. And then, bunch of parts, because I'm always fixing things. These are a bunch of lamps for lights. These are a bunch of cables. Normally I have a lot more cables up here, but a lot of them are being used for our show right now. So, data cables, power cables, extension cords. These are replacement lens barrels for lights. So if you want them to have a wider beam or a narrow beam, there's different lenses in each one of those and you can switch them out. These are all our different gobos that I have organized. So this one's a breakup gobo. So you can see it's a piece of metal with a pattern cut out into it. And those lenses inside of the light, you can focus them so you get a crisp image of what the picture looks like. So you'll see lots of gobos on the stage tonight during the show. These are a couple gobos I have picked out. This sparkly one.
Oh, cool.
It shines on, in those patterns. We gave her a show at the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. All those patterns.
Snowflakes and yeah.
And then these are tinier gels for tinier lights that don't need as big as cuts.
Those are tiny. How long can those little gels be used?
It depends on the color that it puts out. So any lighter colors, like a really light orange or yellow or light blue, those will last forever, like 10 plus years. Then you get to the deeper colors where after a couple days of use, the light will actually poke a hole through the film because it heats it up so much. So, and it kind of depends on your light too, because some lights put out a very narrow beam. So it's going to focus all of that heat onto one center part of the gel, and it's going to pop a hole through it. Whereas other lights are giving you a wide spread of light, so then the entire piece of gel lights up evenly, in which case it won't pop a hole through it, but it will eventually wear it down to where it's not as saturated as a color anymore. It becomes a lighter version of itself.
Okay, makes sense.
Yep. And that's why LED lights are so nice, because you don't need gel. They just change color on their own. This was the 2023 season, so the year before that season got Misery, White Christmas, Lost Highway, Murder on the Orient Express. I'm actually stage managing this show at Missoula.
Which one is it?
Murder on the Orient Express.
When is that one going to be?
That's going to be in the spring.
Maybe we can make that one. I would love to see that one.
Yeah.
So, those are cool shows.
Is that Misery, the one that was on TV? The
Stephen King, Misery.
Stephen King?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
And then this is the box office. Not a whole lot to see in here, but it is still a historic building, so it's cool to see. So this is a lot of just where we do sit around and talk and do paperwork and things. And this is where you'll come up and say, "Hi, I have 2 tickets for Rock of Ages under Scott Woods." And they'll go, "Okay." And they'll print them out for you and hand them to you.
And that's the original wood?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So, very nice.
It actually seems big for an old time
Oh yeah.
box office.
Mm-hmm.
Did they knock some of it out?
Nope.
Okay.
Just fancy.
Nice.
You can see some of the original carpentry of the building, how they used to nail everything together. They didn't have pressurized nail guns or screws or anything like that. It was all a hammer and nail. Lots of wedges to keep the spacing of all of your beams even,
Nice.
because wood likes to warp over time.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's one thing in this building is like none of the original electrical is here, which kind of sucks because it's kind of cool to see that stuff.
I feel privileged that we got to see all this.
Yes, well this is just the front of the theater, so there's more. So, now we're going into the house. So this is what we call a lobby, and then this is the house of the theater. So the house is where all of your audience members sit down and get ready to view the show. Those are the house lights I was talking about up on the ceiling up there. The work lights are on. It would be better if you look at this one.
Ooh, those are pretty.
So those are the lights that are on when you walk in to see the show.
Those are so
The lights that are on right now are work lights,
Okay.
and that's why they're so blindingly bright, because we like to see what we're doing.
right.
But yeah, more custom architecture with the exit sign.
Wow.
Things like that. So this is the balcony up here, just 5 steps, and then up there. And then this is the main floor, the lower house. This is a raked theater, which means the seats in front of the stage are at the lowest point and the seats at the back of the stage are at the highest point. The reason for that is the stages used to be raked and all of the seats used to be on the same level. So then as actors walked away from you, they would be walking up a slope so you could still see them over people's heads. But that made actors twist their ankles and fall over because the stage was at a slope. So then they put the house at a slope instead, so then the audience members can see over each other's heads.
When
So
did they
now-
do that? Do you know?
I don't remember exactly what time that shift happened. The stage you see right now is only about 4 or 5 years old. They did a renovation. So I'll actually take you down to the basement and you'll be able to see the original stage. It's a little dingy down there, but it's still cool. These black things on the sides are spotlight towers, just because it's really hard to get a lighting position in here where you have a spotlight on someone and it's not blowing out the entire set behind the actor. So these spotlight towers allow us to shoot light to the side of the actor instead of directly in front of them. Those were built in 2018 and they're not a permanent part of the theater. They're just simply sitting on the ground. So they can be removed at any time. We'll go back here while they pack up, and then we'll go over to the stage. These are these lighting trusses. These are called raceways. So this is the second front of house, and up there next to the stage with all those big lights on it, that's the first front of house. Since we can't make any alterations to the building, these raceways are just bolted onto the main beams of the ceiling, so they can just be unbolted and taken off at any time. So it's not actually changing the architecture of the building. But those beams are super impressive with how much weight they can hold. because they hold up the entire building. They hold the walls up from not falling in on themselves.
Wow.
So, and there's some pictures that I can show you out here. They've actually got a crane holding up the entire roof of this building over the building while they construct the walls, and then they set the beams on top. So we've got some pictures here. There's a light in here. I just have to find it. I found that light. Where's the other one? I don't know. That's fine. So this is a picture of Fort Peck. So they used to have, it used to be a beer and lunch. It was a little restaurant for people who wanted to get a meal when they weren't showing shows.
That looks like Gomer Pyle.
What's on there? Go up close to it. On that
I'm
picture.
not sure. It's on both sides.
Oh.
I'm not sure what it says. But yeah, this is quite an old photo. It was restored, made a little higher quality using photos of the building we have now layered on top of it. Yeah, picture of the house. This is them constructing the theater. So you can see they've got scaffolding all the way around the building. They've got a big crane with ropes holding up the ceiling of the building as they attach the framing.
Look at those antique cars.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, this building was only supposed to ever be a movie theater, and once the dam got built, everyone was supposed to leave this town and the theater was supposed to get torn down. But people wanted to stay and live here because they were born and raised here, so they left the theater and then they turned it into a actual theater instead of a movie theater. And then this is kind of more practical behind the scenes, not old artifact behind the scenes. This is our concession stand. So this is one door that opens. We only open this one if there's a large crowd, like 300 or more. And then this is the main concession stand door that opens, and everyone has to be outside to get their
Take a
food.
picture of the menu. We've got suckers and candy and popcorn and hot dogs and Wilkinson's
tamale.
fudge bars.
Yep,
Luigi ice.
Luigi ice. What is that?
It's like
I'll show you.
Italian.
lemonade ice,
Oh.
It's right here.
Italian ice.
It's these guys.
Oh, okay.
They're like push pops.
Look at those fudge bars.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Fun stuff. Lots of old, before we had electrical in this building, lots of old, what do you call them, skylights that have been closed off and sheeted over because we have electricity now. But that's how they used to get light into these rooms, is through the skylights.
So what did they do at night when they had a movie? Where was their light?
It was from, well, I believe the only electrical in the theater when it was originally installed was that projector and then the lights out in the house. So they didn't have a lot. I think just candles and things.
Oh my gosh.
These are important bathrooms to know about when you come see the show, because you don't have to go all the way back to the lobby. You can just come over here. This is a women's bathroom, and that's a family bathroom. So this has like 4 stalls in it. That has just one toilet, and you can lock the door on that one.
The old register.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna come up to the balcony.
Yeah, careful.
So this is our tech booth. This is where sound and lights and stage management operate during the show.
So you'll be up here.
Not during the show.
Well,
I'll be further back there. This is my spotlight right here that I run during the show. I was supposed to run the whiteboard during the show, but we had a spotlight person cancel before we opened, so now I'm doing it. But yeah, soundboard. This computer is in charge of connecting to all the microphones and playing all the sound effects and things. This computer is dedicated to our live listen system, so anyone with a phone that's connected to our internet can live broadcast the show in their headphones and listen to it for hearing assistance. So this is the little box right here that takes care of that.
And you did that.
And then this is our lighting console. I've got a cover on it right now because it's not being used. And this will run the entire lighting system during the show. Yeah. And then the stage manager will sit here. She'll have her iPad that has all of the cues. She'll tell people when to go, when to turn spotlights on, when to play sound effects, when to press go on the lights. And
So how does she communicate? Do you guys have
we have a comm
earpieces?
system. We have a live comm system. So we have these little boxes, and they connect to each other through cables that run all throughout the theater. So this runs under the desk into a junction box, goes out backstage, goes up to the spotlights, so everyone can communicate with her through these headsets. And there's a talk button. When it lights up green, they can hear you. And there's a call button, which will push this red light onto all of the comm packs around the theater. So if you're not on comm and the stage manager needs to talk to you, they can click this red light and the light on your comm pack will light up.
Oh.
So you know that she needs to talk to you. And then, yeah, and then this is a microphone that goes to all of the dressing rooms, both underneath the stage, because there's a basement with dressing rooms, and also backstage there's dressing rooms. So there's speakers in all of those dressing rooms, so this microphone gets broadcasted to all of those speakers. So when she needs to make announcements to the cast or anyone else, she can do that with this.
Cool.
So it's a very tight system and keeps the magic for the audience so they don't see anything.
Go ahead.
This is one of the spotlights we use. It's certainly not new technology. It's very old. It's from the late 80s, early 90s. It uses an arc lamp, which basically means it sucks up a bunch of power, creates a chemical reaction in the light that's so hot that it creates plasma, and the light that's being produced on stage is from an arc of plasma, basically.
Huh.
So when I turn it on, you'll hear the fan start up, and I can click the button to strike the arc lamp, and it'll start up. And it takes a few seconds for the lamp to get warm and heat up and create plasma. And then we have our different gels. So we've got pink, purple, diffusion, blue. This whole panel can come out and you can put different gels in it, which are those sheets of color that I showed you before. So gels can also go in these types of fixtures as well. So you can see I've got a little beam of light right here coming out right now. And I can turn it off. I can make it bigger and smaller and all those fun things.
Cool.
So, and I've got my own headset and compact right here, and we've got another spotlight that is the exact same make and model on that side as well.
And somebody else has to man that too?
Yep.
Wow.
So nowadays there's remote control spotlights, and a person can sit anywhere they want, and they're staring at a screen holding a controller, and they point the spotlight, and the moving light will move to wherever they're pointing the spotlight at. So they're like robotically controlled instead
Will
of.
they ever add those here, you think?
We're supposed to be getting a lighting upgrade in 2 years,
Okay.
and all of these lights are going to get changed to LEDs. So
Nice.
maybe.
But that's good for power and longevity, right?
Yep. So then through these doors, this is how you get out to the balcony out front. But it's also how the audience gets up to the balcony from the house if they don't want to walk up the stairs. So this is a lot of storage up here. This is a lot of concession stand storage. These are soft goods, and that's just a theater term for curtains and other things. This door leads out to the balcony out front, the balcony that comes up and over the main doors. So you'd be walking on the balcony that has the Fort Peck Summer Theater sign on it.
Oh, so there's the
From
stairs right
balcony.
there.
I told ya.
There's the sign. Gift shop.
And then there's one balcony up higher, up there, and we would just walk up the stairs to get up there.
Oh, wow.
during the winter time a couple years ago, they did a live nativity scene up here
Oh,
with
neat.
goats and donkeys and things. So, and people came around and got to look at it while they stood
So it
up
was
here.
up here on the balcony?
Mhm, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the animals were actually out here?
Yeah, they got the animals up here onto the balcony.
Wow.
You haven't made your mark on the wall here yet. He showed me upstairs in the high school one, and he has his name. They have a whole graffiti wall. It wraps all the way around.
Oh yeah,
He's got his name on there quite a few times.
There's an actual graffiti wall here. I'll have to show it to you. So the building has bad weatherproofing, so you have to make sure the doors are closed real tight when you close any door. So, and then there's no locks on the door, so we use these.
Huh.
It's like the old days.
Yep.
So we going up or down?
We're gonna go down and then back around. So this will lead us back down into the lobby. So this wall right here that we can't get to the other side of is actually the projection room. So we have to go down the lobby to the other side of the balcony, go up the stairs, and then those doors will let us into the projection room. These are old fire hoses that used to work. They're disconnected from water now. But there's 2 of these in the lobby, and there's 2 of them out in the theater as well. Now they're just decoration, but they used to work.
Lots of stairs.
Just the same. It's mirrored on both sides.
So these doors are original too, huh?
Yes, all of these doors are original to the building.
Wow.
Getting our exercise, Marcia.
Some steps in.
So it's mirrored on both sides. So if you were to go out the doors here, you would be on the other side of the balcony outside. And if you were to go out these other doors, you would be on the balcony in the house, just on the other side of the balcony. So I can show you. All we did was make a big loop. So this is just the other side of the balcony out here.
Cool.
Yeah.
So now we're going this way, right?
Yep.
More
So
of the
then-
old registers.
If you were to crawl down here, which we're not going to because I'm sure there's lots of spiders, we've got storage like light bulbs and other things.
Here, I'll let you look.
That's also where a bunch of the HVAC system for the air conditioning lives.
Ah.
And it's also a crawl space where you can get under the floor of the theater.
Oh.
So where all of the people sit, you can get under there, and there's actually irrigation tunnels that run down there from when this was farmland.
Huh.
And we run a bunch of cables down there for power and data and all that stuff. Up here, this is the old projection room. This ladder will actually get you to this roof of the building. I can shine a flashlight up there for you.
Wow.
There's a little hatch up there, so you'll go up that hatch, and then that upper top balcony that I talked about, that'll get you up there.
Wow.
And then on that upper balcony, I think once you go through that door, there's another ladder, and it'll get you up to the roof of the building. And then this is the old projection room, which now houses the HVAC system, the upper part of the HVAC system for the air conditioning. But this is where that big projector I showed you used to live. And you can see this little glass window right there. That's where the projector used to shoot out into the house to light up the film, or to project onto the stage, excuse me. So this is where the projections operator would live. There was a bathroom here and a little room they could live in, and because it was a full-time job running that thing, keeping it up and cleaning it and making sure it was running smoothly. This is now where a bunch of sound equipment lives. Our sound person, they're awesome. Their name's Caroline. This is where they keep a bunch of their stuff and their cables, extra speakers if shows need them. Over here, it's actually funny, birds really like living here because of all of the little hidey holes in the architecture of the building. So this is Bird X. It's an ultrasonic bird repeller, and there's 4 speakers up where the roof slopes over the wall. There's a bunch of netting there because birds like to build their nests up in there because there's a little hidey hole where they can sit on top of the wall, but the roof is hanging over them. So there's speakers up there that play ultrasonic beeping, and it stops the birds from nesting up there. And if you look up outside of the building, there's also netting that runs around to stop the birds from even
Because they
getting
make
up
a
there.
mess of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll destroy the old wood and stuff. And if you've noticed, as we're walking around the building, you probably see the words Floyd cut out into the walls multiple times. Floyd is actually a ghost that haunts this theater. Floyd was an old lighting technician that worked here when this place was converted into an actual theater. And he used to get up on these really tall ladders to work on the lighting instruments. The ladder fell backwards, and he fell and died when he hit the chairs in the house.
Oh.
So, but he's a friendly ghost, and he's also been known to help technicians when they also get into similar things like that. If you get on top of a ladder, there's been stories of technicians where their ladder starts to lean backwards, but then something pushes it back onto the lights and stops it from falling back. So people think that's Floyd stopping them from dying the same way he did. And there's also just things like when they get real late into the summer season and they're in their last show, sometimes they report like doors slamming and walls creaking and things, and that's Floyd telling them that they need to get out so he can be alone for the winter.
Oh, interesting.
Cute.
So.
Hi, Floyd.
And then over here is a little sound shop that Carolyn has made for themselves. So a bunch of stuff that is either broken or is in storage. And then it's just a little work table where they can tinker on things in here. And then this old metal door.
It's like a safe door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This used to be a safe.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, I saw that. But they put this here originally?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they have a safe door in what would have been their bedroom, right?
I'm not sure.
They must have kept some
Maybe the films in here?
something
Probably,
expensive
yeah.
in here.
And then there's a grate for viewing, so I imagine whoever was operating the projection screen could watch the audience to make sure they're behaving. So, fun stuff. There's a little pulley system here set up, so I imagine there was some way they locked this door. So, it's pretty solid
Very,
stuff.
yeah.
And then a bathroom right here that doesn't work anymore.
And look at how old that is. And here's another safe door.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that one from? Because it's been taken off.
I'm not sure where that's from.
Huh. It's the identical door.
Yeah. It might have gone over here.
Oh.
Because there's no door here anymore. I did go right here. I can see the hinges for it.
And because all the wiring and
Yeah,
safety.
because they didn't want anyone messing with their projector because it was very high technology for the time and very expensive.
Yeah.
And the whole theater operated off of that projector working, so if they didn't protect it, they had no theater. So, we've got more fire hoses.
Do you want me to shut the light off?
Yeah, please. More fire hoses when they worked. They
Decoration.
were very afraid of a fire because the whole building is built out of wood. So.
What's all this stuff? It's like parts of seats and stuff?
Yeah, these are parts for seating, just because we have taken out a lot of the seating that used to be set up, and some of it needs to get replaced, so we'll often pull from this if any seats get broken or damaged,
Oh,
so then
nice.
we can fix them.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks.
So now we get to see some more fun stuff.
So now these seats here, were they from the 20s?
Mm-hmm. These are all the original seating.
They have held up so well.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then a lot of them are people paid to have their name put onto them in gold
Oh,
plating.